Dear students, welcome to this first chapter of the International Business course called Globalization and International Business. In this chapter, we will talk about the main issues that you are going to use in your course throughout the lectures. And the course content is made up of, as you know, 6 chapters. We have Globalization and International Business, which we are going to cover now. And then we'll continue with integrative issues in international business, entry modes in international business, international strategy and organization, international human resources management, international marketing, and international marketing and production will be our final chapter here. In this chapter, in the first chapter, we want you to able to describe the content of globalization roughly and define international business and its key players, describe global business environment, and describe culture's influences on international business. And here the chapter is made up of 4 headings in without introduction. Globalization is defined, and then we are going to continue with international business and its key players, and then global business environment. Then we are going to talk about culture's influence on international business. So as we said in the beginning, globalization is an idea which defines integration on a global scale, usually in terms of economics. International business, on the other hand, is about which refers to the exchange of goods and services across the border between 2 or more nations. Although these 2 terms, globalization and international business, differ in their definition, there is a crucial link. So let's see what is the link, what this link is about. In this chapter, we'll first look at globalization, and then we're going to look at international business and its key players, and we'll then focus on the global business environment by highlighting its political, legal, economic, and regulative aspects. And last but not the least, the chapter will be finalized with the culture's influences on international business. So the term globalization we use today, first coined by Harvard Business School professor, the marketing professor Theodore Levitt, in a Harvard Business Review article titled as The Globalization of Markets in 1983. In this article, Levitt says companies must learn to operate as if the world were one large market, ignoring superficial regional and national differences. And in the mid-1990s, the IMF, the World Economic Outlook, defined globalization as the growing interdependence of countries worldwide through the increasing volume and variety of cross-border transactions in goods and services and of international capital flows, and also through the more rapid and widespread diffusion of technology. And globalization. Today, globalization refers to the shift toward a more integrated and interdependent world economy. And from a broader perspective, globalization can also be defined as a process of social, political, economic, cultural, and technological integration among countries around the world. The word globalization is derived from, as you know, globe-anization, and refers to the process in which people and countries come together worldwide. So globalization is a multifaceted phenomena. Economists focus on those aspects of globalization concerning international trade, international capital flows, and the dominance of multinational enterprises over international and domestic economies. On the other hand, when we look at the political sciences, political scientists view it the globalization as a concept concerning the nation state and new forms of governance. Sociologists approach the same phenomena, globalization, in terms of the rising of global culture and global companies and their dominance on creating and sustaining it. International relations experts tend to focus on global conflicts and global institutions as well. So it's a multifaceted phenomena where it has roots in economics, sociology, and political sciences. And what are the drivers of globalization? To understand globalization, we need to understand the drivers of it. And in terms of its more profound meaning and significance, it is essential to analyze the key drivers, closely linked drivers behind globalization. These drivers can be classified into two macro factors. One of them is declining trade barriers and investment barriers, and the other, as we are all facing, is technological change. And to understand, globalization is a Janusyan phenomena. It has positive sides as well as negative sides. The recent history of anti-globalization demonstration dates back to the World Trade Organization meeting in Seattle in December 1999, also known as the Battle in Seattle. Job losses, low wages, environmental threats, cultural imperialism on the global media, and multinational enterprise were all protested during this demonstration. Globalization is a complicated issue, and then the questions are: is an integrated and interdependent global economy a good thing for all, or does the weak suffer? We must evaluate the pros and cons before drawing any conclusion. And in the chapter, there is a good discussion about the positive and negative sides of it. So globalization, a global economy, implies a borderless economic space in which the integration of operations and markets takes place according to economic and market imperatives, as opposed to the fragmentation of production and markets. So here we said that it's a borderless, but there are distances, and distances can be understood by using the CAGE framework, cultural, administrative, geographic, and economic distances framework at the industry level is a useful tool for analyzing administrative distances, cultural distances, geographic distances, and economic distances to understand what borderless mean in the industry level. And international business, as you know, international business, if you ever heard about Dutch West India Company or the East India Company or the Silk Road, then you may easily figure out that international business is not a new phenomenon. But it's claimed that the volume of international business has increased dramatically over the last decades. Internationalization, international business, international management are all concepts that you should cover and study while working on this chapter. And there are also concepts like a multinational enterprise, a multinational corporation, a small and medium-sized multinationals or mini multinationals, global corporations, multi-domestic corporations, transnational corporations, born global firms are named to a few of the concepts that you should cover for throughout this course. And as I said before, this chapter is the infrastructure for the remaining chapters, so it's utmost importance for you to cover this and learn these topics and concepts as well. So global business environment, the next issue that we are going to cover in this video. International business activities are not conducted in a vacuum. They are affected by and affect many parts of the business activities. Although you have seen various aspects of the business environment in your different courses, its global character concerning the international business has to be underlined here as well. Topics discussed in the following section of the book will cover the political and legal systems and global economic systems and global institutions regulating and shaping the global business environment. So here, first, let's have a look at the political environment. Is the set of governmental institutions, political parties, and organizations that are the expressions of the people and nations of the world. And different political systems naturally generate various legal systems and traditions, thus they create different regulatory environment, which makes conducting business operations on a global scale even more complicated. A country's decision on how to allocate factors of production results in three different economic systems. Now we are moving on to understanding the global economy, and we have market, command, and mixed economies based on how a country decides to divide its factors of production. Recognizing global opportunities requires international businesses to understand the particular aspects of these three systems: market, command, and mixed economies. The increasing international trade and the globalization of markets led to the emergence of institutions like regulating and policing this system, the political, legal system, and the global economy. Thus, we have multinational treaties. They were established to govern the global business system. In the chapter, we will learn more about General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, World Trade Organization, the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, the United Nations, and International Organization for Standardization, or shortly ISO. And the last part of this chapter is dedicated to culture's influence on international business. And there's a whole section devoted to this part, because the establishment of an organization in cross-cultural environments requires a set of interrelated processes that demand careful planning and strategies. So cultural differences in international business is an exciting subject, while also making it complicated for practitioners and scholars alike. Cultural values affect technology transfer, managerial attitudes, managerial ideologies, and business government relations. For the sake of simplicity, scholars use nation state as an indicator of societies, as a society's national culture, but be aware that this is a reductionist approach. In the cluster approach, as I said before, countries sharing similar cultures are grouped according to their cultural values and similarities. But when you zoom into any country, then you will start to realize there are differences in these clusters as well. But this is just a reductionist approach to make it more manageable, to make international business more manageable. The underlying implication of the cluster approach is that businesses tend to be more comfortable when doing business with other countries within the same cluster due to their common and similar language, history, religion, and customs. Culture's influences on international business can be understood again by using cultural clusters and cultural dimensions offered by various authors. In the book, we are going to talk about, and you should read, Hofstede's dimensions, Trompenaars dimensions, and global leadership and organizational behavior effectiveness studies dimensions to understand what cross-cultural management is about and culture's influences on international business. So that's the end of chapter 1. You can access more learning material from Anadolu Üniversitesi's learning management system called E-Kampüs. Don't forget to read the chapter from your textbook. Textbook is your course responsibility. Good luck with your studies.